What's going on, Collectibles friends? We are back again. It is another Collectibles video. We even have Alf back here. He's so pumped for this breaking news. Shout out to Swaggle over at Swagglehouse Comics. I saw this morning. I'm on the East Coast, so I missed it. I think he put this out at like 11 p.m. Eastern time. Completely missed this news, but I was like, man, this is a big one. So this is believed to be a lawsuit brought by CGC against the Mark Jeweler Fooler, against the ReHolder scammer. That is what this is believed to be. I guess we don't technically have full 100% clarification on this. There are names attached to this lawsuit. For those that might be new to this scandal, this went back kind of right before the holidays happened. We reported on this as well, and it was a reholdering scandal to where somebody was basically maneuvering around the ReHolder system and CGC wasn't able to catch it. This, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section if you have other information, but I believe these are the folks that were a part of the 300 plus books that they made the list on and all that. I believe that this is the suit. Thanks to Swaggle's viewer, I guess that had sent this to him. Justia, I've never heard of the site before. I'm not an attorney. Justia.com, dockets.justia.com is where the information is coming from, and it is certified guarantee company, which provides authentication and grading for comic books, sued customers for trademark infringement, false advertising, and breach of contract on February 2nd in the New York Southern District Court. Essentially, it says here that the defendants were obtaining high-value comic books and holders with grade labels from the plaintiff, then swapping the comic books with lower-graded comics and reselling them, thereby deceiving customers into paying inflated prices for incorrectly graded comic books. Now, I know there's a lot of people that have come out and said, hey, this is a very small percentage of what CGC has graded, and, this isn't really going to have an effect on the total market. And to some degree, I guess they're right. I bought two CGC graded comic books here in the last week, the last 10 days. So yes, is this concerning to me? Obviously, it is concerning. Is it completely shutting me down as far as what I'm buying? No, but I will say too, the two comic books in particular that I bought were not kind of the mainstream keys, kind of the usual stuff that you see on the top 10 videos that everybody talks about. I'll put pictures here. I'm a big Spawn guy. So Malibu Sun 13, and then there was a Spawn 1, that black-white variant that came out. I got one that's signed by McFarlane. These are both books that I had going back to 2019 pre-pandemic that I kind of sold into the comic book boom, and then I'm getting them back, and I'm very, very excited to have them back. In particular, for that Spawn 1 black-white variant, I wanted a yellow signature. I had a red signature in the past, which was cool, but I really wanted kind of the big yellow signature, and so it's finally coming home. These books are coming home, and I'm excited to hold these for the long term. But again, the reason why all eyes are on this case is because we want to see consequences. In the collectible space, to be honest, there's a lot of scammy stuff that happens, and it's kind of like, it just kind of falls by the wayside. It's, don't deal with that person, don't deal with this company, and we kind of move on, and we kind of self-govern, try to handle these things ourselves. But this is really, really serious stuff. I mean, when we're talking about, hundreds of books, and a lot of people are speculating that this is just the beginning, that there are more of these types of incidents that just haven't been kind of brought to light yet. We'll have to see how that shakes out, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. I mean, the confidence in this as a market for buying and holding long-term, in the same fashion that you would see in art where people are spending tens of $millions on art, a lot of it revolves around authentication, being able to identify provenance around certain items. It's extremely important. Otherwise, it's just, stuff. It may as well be at a flea market. For many, especially guys that are my age in our 40s, there's a lot of pop culture items, a lot of these things, and sports figures, comic book artists. These are all very important people in our lives. It has become that way as we've aged up. And I joke, it's when we hit our midlife crisis. And here we are, and these items are very important to us. And third-party grading is extremely important as part of that confidence. And so I like the fact that CGC is out here trying to defend their name, trying to recover money for the victims as well as probably for themselves. They're spending money on attorneys. They're going out to try to fix this because it's an obvious problem. It needs to be addressed. It can't be swept under the rug. People have to believe that when an item is graded, people have to believe in their graded items. And yes, we do know that stuff slips through the cracks. We understand that sometimes grades are wrong. We understand that mistakes happen. This is a company just like any other company on the planet. There's going to be mistakes that happen, but this was a big one. When you go back and you've got a few hundred books, and maybe there could be kind of more things. There was another lawsuit with employees that were doing damage on the inside. there's fires over there right now, and they're trying to extinguish them, but I'm glad that they're being aggressive. Now, the next part of what I want to see is an updated slab. And again, maybe it's something that only they know of. Maybe they have a mark on the comic. Maybe they have a mark on the slab. There's something there where they can identify what is what, so that if someone tries to sneak around like this again, then they're able to identify it. Also, I think a better holder. These are high-priced items. Those large comic book holders, they're fairly easily cracked. I mean, even in shipping, I've had a couple show up to me that have cracks in them. They're not made of steel, and I'm not saying that they should be made of steel. I'm sure the price tag would be much higher for, that sort of material, but I still think we need something a little bit better than what we have today. So I'd like to see that evolve over time. It's just, with trading cards, they're smaller. I think it's a little bit easier, to manage. With a large comic book, it's just different. Magazines and that sort of thing, I think it just needs a little bit more attention. We need an updated slab. So this is the breaking news brought to us by Swaggle Haas. What do you think about it? Are you still confident in CGC graded comics, or were you never confident in the first place? I know that there are a segment of people that just hate graded stuff, and that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But for those that are spending significant money, that want to buy and hold and preserve these items that we love, it's important to us. All right, guys, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.